Hi, Delusion Dispeller back again. I'm going to talk to you about some more traits of the extreme borderline personality disordered person. Okay. Learned helplessness. What this means is somebody that has always played the martyr for a long time and has had everybody eating out of their hand, running them to hospitals, helping them because they were cutting, working with them on their anorexia, bulimia, whatever their issues were. That person comes to a place where they believe that they are helpless to control anything in their life, even if they really do have the control. I've seen this a lot, and not just in borderlines. A lot of people have learned this helplessness where they think there is no hope and there's no way past their situation. It's just not true in a lot of cases, most cases, I would say. Now, unless you are in a situation where your abuser still lives with you and you can't get away from it and you're subjected to all kinds of torment every day, then yeah, you're pretty helpless in that situation. But that's not usually the case in most people that would be watching these videos, for instance. There is help available. In fact, there's a lot more help in this day and age than there was back when your grandmother might have been being abused. So if you're helpless, a lot of times it's that you choose not to reach out for the help, in which case you may be avoidant, you may have social phobia, and then that's a whole different case altogether, and you need to gather up enough courage, get a trusted friend to go with you, and get some therapy for that social phobia or that avoidant personality problem. Okay. Borderlines have moments of clarity, and this is what makes a relationship with somebody with borderline personality disorder so terribly difficult. A borderline does have moments where he or she feels sorry for the thing that they said that just hurt your feelings, the thing that they did that just cost you your job, or whatever it might be, however minor or extreme. They will begin to make amends. They'll start saying, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I do this, I want to be better, please forgive me. And then in the next minute, they're stabbing you in the back. So it's hard. It's hard. There you go with the mood swings of the borderline personality. They are very dramatic and rapid, emotional, and there's nothing external that's governing them. There's nothing on the outside that's affecting the person. It's within the person, that they're up and down and all around and like you, hate you, are afraid you're going to leave them, are angry at you, are entertained by you. It's just a whirlwind type of situation with them. And a lot of times we end up in relationships with them because it's so exciting and dramatic and there's never a dull moment. But that's not healthy and it's not balanced, and that person needs help. Let's see. You enter into a lot of no-win scenarios and lose-lose scenarios where you feel like no matter what I say to this person, it doesn't do any good. Because if I help them, then I didn't help them the right way, or I didn't help them long enough, or I helped this other person too. So you're darned if you do and darned if you don't with a borderline. I keep saying narcissist because there's such a fine line, and there are a lot of similarities between the two personality disorders. The point is, no matter what you do in a no-win scenario, you're not going to win. You're not going to feel like you accomplished what you set out to do. They have panic attacks sometimes, anxiety disorders, hyperventilating, shaking, sometimes chills, sometimes perspiring. Unfortunately, the borderline was often given the role of playing parent to a parent as a child. So the child was the one that had to make sure mom was happy and mom's needs were met, instead of the child being the one to be taken care of. And that causes a distortion in thinking in the borderline that makes them kind of switch roles again and become that child. Passive aggressive, that's a big one with borderline personality disorder. A borderline has trouble expressing negative feelings without feeling guilty and bad. So they passively aggressively will punish people, usually through stubbornness, canceling dates that they were going to go out and do something with you, procrastinating, being late. They'll do a lot of things that are not outwardly to punish you, but subtly to punish you. Um, it's a very rough thing to live with somebody that's passive aggressive. They will sometimes use other people to attack you. That's another thing. They tend to be pathological liars because they don't really care how it affects you. They're interested in their own needs and meeting their own needs. They habitually lie because they want to get what they want, period. You might say it's kind of a childishness, borderline, and also narcissism, both. They will project their own feelings and traits onto other people rather than admitting that they have feelings about things, because they feel like you won't like them if they show you who they really are. Kind of like narcissism again. Let's see. They sabotage relationships. They can become very rageful and violent and impulsive, and they will rage at times. They will violate your safety at times. I'm talking extremes again here. You got to be careful you don't set them off. You feel like you're walking on eggshells because everything you say will and can and does get used against you. They will scapegoat people. They will pick their favorites and they will pick their least favorites, and the least favorites will be targeted for blame and mistreatment. Let's see. They have very selective memory. This is one that always irritated me, because the borderline in my situation, I was friends with this person for like over 3 years, and I would bring up things that we shared together, experiences. She would say, I don't remember that. I'd be like, what do you mean you don't remember it? It was only 2 weeks ago. I don't remember that. And I knew she did, or maybe she really didn't. I don't know. I just felt like, how could you not remember that? That was like a pivotal moment in our relationship. That's, practically what cements us together as a team. But nope, they selectively block out things, and it's hurtful because usually memories are what put you together as a couple or as friends or whatever. And if the person doesn't remember the important things that are so dear to your heart, it hurts you. They are self-harmers. They like to cut. They burn themselves. They will poison themselves. They'll overdose on medicine. They will do a number of things because I don't think it's a bid for attention, but a lot of times they just really don't know how to cope with things in life, and they feel very hateful towards themselves, and they feel they can't trust other people. So it's a sad thing. Sometimes they will cut because they feel it releases their tension, their anger, their sadness. The bleeding is like something leaving them. Kind of a symbolic thing. They are self-loathers. They don't like themselves at all. They hate themselves. Sometimes they hate who they are as far as their ethnicity. If they're Italian, they don't like Italians because they have dark hair that looks like a mustache, or they don't like being Mexican because some Mexicans are overweight. It's just a number of things. It just depends on the person. They will play the victim, definitely, because they want sympathy from other people, and they want them to divert their attention from their self-abuse. Let's see. They feel that when you correct something that they said or did, that you are trying to heap shame on them, and they'll feel shame no matter how you try to correct them. Even if it's something like, oh, you forgot to dot your I on this word, they'll take it as, oh, I'm a bad girl, or I'm a bad boy. They personalize everything. It's just they take it so deeply into themselves. Let's see here. Oh yeah, splitting. Okay, with splitting, the borderline person sees people as either all good or all bad at various times. So when you first meet a borderline, which this just happened to me recently, this person was a relative from years ago. And when I first was willing to talk to her on the phone, I was all good. Oh, you're such a kind person. I can't wait to tell everybody that I reconnected with you. You're such a good-hearted person. I love you. It's so good to talk to you. I can't wait to talk to you again. And then when I told this person that I didn't want to sit on the phone listening to them just talk about themselves and never being able to say anything back to them, then all of a sudden, I don't know why you called me. Don't contact me again. I don't want anything to do with you. I should have never started talking to you. You know, that kind of stuff. It's splitting. I was all good, and then now I'm all bad. So, you know what? I don't have time for that anyway, so I was kind of glad she cut me off. Let's see. Threats, thought policing, trying to control another person's thoughts because you feel that they should think the way that you want them to think. Triggering, they definitely are triggered. There's no doubt about that. Every little thing you say can set them off. Tunnel vision, they tend to only focus on one thing, even at the expense of other things. So if a borderline person is cutting, they may be neglecting their child in the other room who's about to do something dangerous. They get very one-track minded in a way. So it can be very dangerous, which is why I said it's not a good idea to be by yourself a lot. If you're borderline, you need to have an accountability partner. You need to have somebody that can watch over you, but they need to be trained in dealing with borderline personality. So that helps a lot. Okay. Again, I'm going to say that one of the best things you can do for yourself is either get some medicine that deals with your depression and your mood swings. Go to therapy, either cognitive behavioral therapy or dialectic behavioral therapy, which specifically helps people with borderline personality disorder. It focuses on issues that are important, one right after the other, starting with self-injury and then dealing with things that are disrupting your lifestyle. Borderlines through DBT are taught what's called mindfulness, emotional regulation, interpersonal effectiveness, and distress tolerance. So they help you cope with those things that arise in your life that can cause you stress and distress. There's a lot of things right now pointing to a part in the brain that controls a lot of this. It's called the amygdala. And the amygdala is what regulates your emotions, your memory to emotions, and also your response to emotional stimuli. When something's wrong with the amygdala, it can cause these distortions in thinking known as borderline personality disorder and other mood disorders. It also controls your memory, which explains why a borderline tends to not remember certain things. Let's see. Medication is very useful in treating borderline personality disorder, depending on what type of medication it is, how long it is used, and if they stay on it. A lot of times borderlines will not stay on their medicines. Okay, I'm going to say again that if you want to contact me at any time, I've often said that, feel free to contact me and talk to me about your issues and whatever. But I have to say this. My time is limited. I have a daughter who's 12. I have a fiance who has needs of his own. I also am in college full-time, working towards a master's degree in psychology. I don't mind talking on the phone with people if I can have a two-way conversation. If you're going to call me up and sit there and ramble on and on and on and on about yourself and your issues and you're this and you're that, and not let me give you advice and not let me have an opinion and not let me comment, then you may as well have a conversation with yourself in the mirror. In fact, if you're going to do that with anybody, you may as well look in the mirror and talk to yourself, because that's what you're doing. And that's not fair, and it's not balanced, and it's a waste of time, yours and mine, and it's not really a way to communicate. So call me, contact me, write me, if you can maintain my boundaries, which are two-way conversations, mutual respect, and kindness, and treat me how you would want to be treated. Okay, that's my prerequisite. Same thing with when you're contacting me in text. Don't sit there and badmouth what I'm saying and doing and whatever, and just because you want to be a snot or a troll or whatever it is that they call them nowadays that get on here and badmouth people. There's no point in it. I just delete you. So it's not a big deal. You're not hurting my feelings. You're not upsetting me. I'm not threatened by you. I really don't give it any brain space. But if you're a caring person and you want to better yourself and you need some advice and you need a gentle push in the right direction, I'm there for you. Okay, that being said, I am concluding my report on our borderline personality disorder traits. If you have anything to add or you want to make your own videos, comment to mine, whatever. I've already given you the boundaries. If you respect them, can't wait to talk to you. God bless you. Thanks for watching. Bye.